Paulie back here on the Latino slant, and wow, yeah. So on the slant, we have covered issues of historical racism in Hollywood's casting system and there's links to it all. I'll have it all. That's obviously a legacy that the Hollywood has yet to live up to, and it continues to do it in a very backwards way. Now, I'm going to break this down into a couple of spots. So I'm going to finish that thought. Then we're going to get into the issue with Xochitl Gomez, and then I want to kind of flip it and use the argument, okay, of why people are upset over this casting, which boggles me as well, because she's been cast in this role for a while now. But now that the movie's coming out and the trailers are out, Doctor Strange 2, people are losing their minds. Now, what this whole act of accurate representation, that's what is at the heart of this. And if it is a person who is black, it's got to be played by a black person. If it's a person who's gay, it's got to be played by a gay person. Let's forget the argument that there has been role after role as of late that were Caucasian, ginger, redhead, a man, that have been changed and been played by people of color, black, Latino, Asian, women, Afro-Latina. It's right there. Recent case in point, Leslie Grace playing Batgirl. I'm all for it. I hope it's a great movie. We will see, but I'm all for this non-traditional casting. Xochitl Gomez is a 15-year-old Mexican-American actor. She's from LA. Her parents are of Mexican descent, and we'll get to that later. She is a young actor, and this is her biggest role to date. She gets to play America Chavez in the said Doctor Strange 2. There's an uproar that she is not Afro-Latina, that this Mexican-American Latina is whitewashed. She's too white to play America Chavez. I won't get into the particulars of the character of America Chavez. I can tell you she's an alien who grew up in New York. There's been different iterations of her over the last 10 years, but there has been different, depending on the artist, America's come off as Latina, Afro-Latina, Latina. Have what you will. But again, that's a different argument. The argument here, and this is you can see here, Twitter users are angry about America Chavez, actress in Doctor Strange, not because of anything she said or political stance or maybe, where she's from, but the fact that it's over something that she has no control over. She auditioned for the role, she got the role, and that's it. But because, again, she's not Afro-Latina, it's a major problem. And it went to a point to where, even though the character is represented as being gay with the pride pin, the story is going to be representative of her. That's not enough. They claim that Xochitl is too light-skinned to play Chavez, and they have gone after her personally, trolling her, badgering her. I think she's off Twitter at this point, but this is a 15-year-old actor we're talking about. So that is not good, and that's why this video is called "I Stand with Xochitl," because that type of behavior, you don't have an art. First of all, you don't have a discussion on Twitter. Nobody has a discussion on Twitter. You just spew out whatever rhetoric or whatever belief you have, and you want other people to spew out the same thing as much as they can, so you can get a point across, so you can be that as loud as you can. But there's no real discussion on Twitter. Okay, you can hurt people on Twitter, and it seems that this actor, was personally attacked, harassed. So that's not good. That's not good. And even some of other friends of the channel that have gone on and claimed that, it's great that she's cast, but we need to have a discussion about colorism in movies. Okay. All right, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to say you're right. Slant needs some water. Give me a comment right now. All those people that want a discussion. Okay, your main argument is that it's colorism, man. It's wrong. We're whitewashing Afro-Latina characters. Even though she's a Latina, this actor should not have been cast in the first place. Some even said she should have stepped down. Okay, I'm going to say, let's just say for your sake, you're absolutely right. Okay? Should have been cast as an Afro-Latina. Even though, technically, this character is an alien, and even though there's been different iterations, but I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with it. Okay? Because I'm trying to really understand your reference. And you're saying that this history of colorism and casting in Hollywood and film has got to stop. Just go ahead and let the guest know. Come on, jeez. I agree. So, I give you the counter argument. That's better. Rosario Dawson, who is an Afro-Latina, played Dolores Huerta. Rosario, great actor, African-American actress, self-proclaimed, Boricua, all that stuff, plays a Mexican-American real-life person, an historical crusader of justice for the United Farm Workers, Dolores Huerta, in a movie called Chavez. Where's your colorism? Where's your outrage? Where's your uproar? Rosie Perez, another Afro-Latina actress who I always loved in Do the Right Thing. She's got she's got several credits out throughout her career where she plays quote unquote a Mexican American, someone from Mexico, East LA. One case in point, she played recently Xochitl as an animated character, but one of Mesoamerican connections in Maya and the Three, huge Netflix hit. She also was an East LA mom in The Take. She also, and point of reference right here too, Rosie got to play an African-American, an Afro-Latina comic book character in Birds of Prey as Renee Montoya. So there is representation. I got more for you. You see where I'm going with this, guys? I hope so. All right. Zoe Saldana, who I think is another fantastic actress. Many roles here. Many roles. Let's just do a couple. She was the lead character in Maya and the Three, a Mesoamerican Aztec princess lead character in this huge animated hit, Maya and the Three. She's also, too, has played a Marvel superhero alien in Guardians of the Galaxy's Gamora. African-American, Afro-Latina actress. Where's the outrage? How dare she play? Why did she take this role? How dare she take this Mesoamerican Aztec role voiceover away from another Mexican-American actress? And that is just a smidge. I didn't go down the rabbit hole too deep of three different Afro-Latina actresses that you know. Rosario Dawson, Zoe Saldana, Rosie Perez, that have played other Latinas. In this case, Xochitl is a Mexican-American young actor where they have played Mexican or Mexican-American roles. It's not even, I'm not even arguing. This is just the facts, right? This is just facts. My question is, where's your outrage over that? You're telling me about colorism. I'm giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 different roles where an Afro-Latina played a Latino character. Mexican, Mexican-American. Also, too, Zoe Saldana was the female lead in Coco, a Mexican-American Day of the Dead animated movie. And now for some fun and giggles, let's go back to the 90s. Let me give you 2 cases let me give you one more Afro-Latino case. Panamanian actor Carlos Carrasco played Popeye, a Chicano pimp, convict in Blood In, Blood Out. It's a memorable role. If you love that movie, Blood In, Blood Out, he's got some of the more memorable lines. Afro-Latino in a Chicano gang. What's going on? You're saying that there's been this colorism, that there's never been Afro-Latinos in film and television, and I give you example after example. Plus, those Afro-Latinos actors get to play black roles, get to play nondescript roles. So they have careers. And finally, one of my favorite Latinas to cover, no pun intended, Puerto Rican, Nuyorican, J-Lo in the 90s played Selena. Selena was a Mexican-American singer, Tejana, from Corpus Christi, Texas. When J-Lo took the role, there were some people who griped, why didn't it cast a Mexican or Mexican-American actress to play Selena? Those gripes were soon quelled when they saw her performance. But there was never, since then, never any arguments about her origin, her being a Puerto Rican actress playing a Mexican American. Now, J-Lo is not Afro-Latina, but she is not Mexican, not Chicana. So there you have it. I flipped that argument back to, please comment if you're disagreeing with me. For people that yell colorism, I just did maybe an hour's worth of research of several prominent actors who have great careers, who have played plenty of Mexican American, Chicano roles, and yet no outrage. Why is that? Finally, I stand with Xochitl Gomez and her family, because at the end of the day, this is a uniquely American triumph for her and her family. Here she is with her papa. What a beautiful, beautiful familia she has. And her parents are of Mexican descent. And there's so much I love about this photo. This comes off Twitter from one of our viewers of the Latino Slant. It pisses me off that they call her white when she's indigenous. She looks like Yalitza Aparicio, little sister. But sure, she's white because it doesn't fit their agenda. Here's a picture of her with her dad. I stand with Xochitl. This is such a frustrating and complex issue, and yet it's not, right? Because one, we should not harass any young actor. We should not harass really anyone, period. If regardless of their political stances, of their sexual orientation, of their background, that's ridiculous. It's also a losing fight. So that is probably the most important thing, but also too, those people arguing that colorism and characters being whitewashed, it's actually the reverse. It's actually the reverse. You have Leslie Grace playing Batgirl. You have you look left and right. You're seeing Afro Latinos being cast, and it's wonderful. Then you see them also in my brief examples playing actual Chicano roles, Mexican Americans. And let me just pause there, because there has been also example after example of Cuban, South American, Argentinian actors playing Portuguese actors playing Mexican Americans, Chicano roles for decades. Two off the top of my head: Antonio Banderas, El Mariachi. And then his brother in Desperado, Joaquim Almeida, who's Portuguese, all set in Mexico. They were fantastic in the roles. What's the problem? We move on, and projects are plenty, and roles are plenty too. So that's the slant's take on these things. The slant's slant. What do you guys think? Am I local? Or are these guys, out of reach here? Again, leave your comments, all that good stuff. Wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte. Paz.
That's better.